You ideally don't want to TP anywhere since you're literally invincible with spin TP. But in this case, so I just have to ask you if you're trying to push this tower with your team. If you are, then stay. If not, you should actually TP bottom and like reset the map.
Banana slam jam.
So hey guys, this replay you're about to watch is one of many that I do every month. If you're looking to get your own replays or your own coaching sessions, you can check out my Patreon at patreon.com/bsjgaming. That is also where you can check out all the previous coaching sessions and replays neatly organized in playlists for you. You can also get access by being a Twitch subscriber, even Twitch Prime, by clicking the link in the description below for the Discord. Once you join the Discord, you can go to your profile, connections, make sure that your Twitch account is connected to your Discord, where you will have access to the exclusive YouTube channel right below the Patreon tab. And this is where you'll be able to see all the previous coaching sessions, all the previous replays, and they're neatly labeled with the MMR and the role. Check them out if you guys are interested. Welcome back, everybody. Guys, this is a BSJ replay. It says 4.7k Jug. Says he's been playing Dota for a while. Quit playing in 2014-ish as a high MMR support. And started playing last year as a carry player mostly. My laning phase really suffers versus lane bullies or matchups I'm unfamiliar with. Okay. And I kind of feel like we only won this game because of some poor item choices on the Dire. Also, I feel like I struggle to know when to farm and when to fight. Sure, man. Let's check it out. Okay. So defensive aggro is the key in most lanes like this. So what's really important with defensive aggro is that you don't leave what I call don't leave creeps behind, okay? So what I mean by that is you should always be monitoring which creeps are dying, but like right here, you have to take this creep with you because it's low HP. If you don't defensively aggro and take this creep with you, you're just going to miss it. So that's exactly what happened there. Got it denied. A little too scared to walk up to the range creep. You did that late. Defensively aggroed too early there because the tower killed it. So what I mean by too early is if you wait to defensively aggro until it's lower, you'll be able to last hit it before the tower shot hits it. So whenever you're defensively aggroing into tower, you have to actually time when you do it. So that either the tower shot does not kill it because it has too much HP, or you kill it before the tower shot does. Something to keep in mind. If you struggle with bad lane matchups, it's pretty much 90% that you're bad at creep aggro, bad at defensively aggroing. That's 90% of the situations, I'll tell you that right now. So what I've already seen is one missed defensive aggro, one time you showed up late to the range creep, and one missed timed defensive aggro. So you should defensively aggro here. It's really important to get the lane pulled back. Coddle actually did it for you. You need to defensively aggro again. Okay, you pulled it to your range. Need to walk up and defensively aggro this one now. Too late on that one.
Face it, you're a loser.
Defensively aggro that one. That was okay. So when the lane's pulling into you really hard like this, or pushing into you, you need to actually pull the creeps away and then pull them into tower. It's really important because otherwise you're going to have a bunch of creeps underneath your tower, and that's not good. The tower is like your best friend for helping you not get a bunch of creeps in your face. Coddle kind of griefed you a bit here. Unfortunate. Not much you can do about it. It's actually not that bad though, because you're going to have a whole wave to yourself now. Okay, that's okay. Gotta make sure your own range creep dies here. Yeah, missed the last inner tower. I'd say you're CSing under tower and your defensive aggro is your main issue. Those are definitely things that are going to happen more in lanes that are hard, and also lanes that, I mean, just in general, lanes that are hard, you'll be forced to CS under tower. So if you want to practice, you should do CS trainer and purposely push the wave into tower. Like, purposely fuck up the lane equilibrium so that the tower is then hitting the creeps. I can just tell you that getting a rhythm for the tower's damage is just really important. It just seems like you don't really have that rhythm for the tower damage. You don't seem to have a good feel for it. Okay. Okay, defensively aggro, good. Okay. I like your skill build. You're adjusting to the fact that you're in a lane that you need a lot of sustain. Okay. Why'd you spin there? Yeah, it's just not a good spin. Not sure what you were thinking. Spin, I would say, is specifically for defensive purposes in this lane. Because now you get, like, you have to play super scared, you know? I would only use it to counter aggression in the lane that's, like, not ideal for you. It's just hard for you to kill the opponent when you have a Coddle 5. You should really tailor the way you play the lane to whatever your support is. So if you have, like, a Grimstroke, you're probably going to use spin aggressively. You know, if you have a CM, you're probably using spin aggressively. But as Coddle, like, you just don't have anything to enable your spin aggressively. So the only way you'll ever have them in position to get spun is if they go on you or go on the Coddle. And that's something you can know by simply thinking about how your support interacts with your hero. So, like, randomly using spin aggressively there actually got Coddle killed because they're not afraid anymore. They know you're a useless piece of shit without spin, so they just go on your Coddle with no fear, and then he dies. Okay. Overall, the lane's not going, like, that badly. I think most of the CS you've missed is on your own accord. Same thing here. No reason to use spin like that. Just focus on the lane. Kind of getting sidetracked a little too easily here. Notice how every time you use spin, bad things happen. That's something you should really keep in mind. Okay. Tried to defensively aggro, but you had already attacked the Phoenix. That's why it didn't work. Okay. Defensively aggro into tower if possible. That was probably the most reasonable spin yet. It's even worth considering 2 points in Healing Ward here, because you're literally never hitting opponents. Okay, we're probably just done in this lane, right? No reason to walk up here. Just go small camp. You're just gonna sit here. Okay, you realized it kind of late, but it's better than nothing. Definitely do small camp, not big camp here because of this. Just do small camp. I mean, I guess he's just gonna feed. That's fine. I would have just done small camp and killed him if he came over to that, but I think that's kind of reliant on him being bad. But it worked out. So while Ogre's gone, okay, think about this. While Ogre is here, what were you doing? I can't really walk up. This sucks. So while Ogre's gone, what does that fucking mean? Right? That means you fucking spin this creep wave and get the fuck out. Right? Or at least hit it. Yeah, maybe not spin because maybe Phoenix can go on you afterwards. So I guess, like, probably not spin. But, like, kill the wave. Hit it as many times as you possibly can. We want to get as many creeps dead before Ogre comes back. So this is, like, very poor awareness of, like, why you're doing what you're doing. You don't want to be here anymore. This is not a lane to occupy. This is not good. So you're against 2 slows, and you don't have a kill 5. I need you to register this. It isn't good for you to interact with the opponent. You're, like, choosing to go on them. I don't want this. I want you to, like, push the creeps and go farm jungle. As a carry, you should only interact with the opponent if you're forced to, or it's efficient. You know, it should feel good to interact with the opponent. And if it doesn't, which it clear, like, you can watch from my perspective here, it clearly doesn't look good. It doesn't feel good. Then just don't. You know, literally don't go on them. Clear the creeps before Ogre comes back, and then go hit some jungle creeps. And you're Gucci. Instead, you're, like, forcing fights on these guys. This is not worth it at all. Okay. I would just spin this creep wave and leave. Sitting a lot of time in lane. Yeah, man. I'm not sure, you know, you're coming back to Dota after you've been back for a year-ish. I actually just released the video today. Obviously, you know, you can't fix a replay retroactively. The entire video that I released today on YouTube, which for you it'll be like, you know, a few days after probably when you watch it, was literally like what happens when I walk up to this creep wave. And in the example I gave, it was a Jug who walked up to a Razor, got linked, and ran away. I need you to see that you're walking up to the creep wave and bad things are happening. So you either need to clear the creep wave or you need to jungle and then defend underneath tower. You're doing the middle. You're in the middle of this decision. You're literally playing the lane normally. meaning like you're just existing. You're like, well, next creep wave, time to kill it. When I'm telling you, you have to very much think about what happens when I walk up to this creep wave. You're 4.7k. You're quite capable. You can definitely think about and process what's going to happen when you walk up. Like, this is not unpredictable. Like, your hero doesn't trade well here. If you're not sure, because you're newish to carry, you're learning matchups and stuff, then at least learn from this. Learn, like, why did Jug feel bad? So pretty much the criteria for Jug to be able to push the creep wave is that he can spin and walk away, or he can just hit it and then walk away. So it's not possible for you to hit it, right? Because they have a ton of magic damage. They have attack speed slow from Phoenix. Like, they're not going to allow you to hit it. So then you would have to ask yourself, can I spin and walk away? And if the answer is no, like you think if you spun and they'd chase you down afterwards, then you just can't. You literally can't, right? So that's what you're kind of missing here. The fact that you like died and then returned to lane and played it like normal tells me that you don't think about this. You can still lane bottom. I'm not sure why you left. Lane bottom's fine now. Like, look at this, dude. It's here for the taking, man. So it's odd. You, like, tried to lane when the opponent's, like, putting 2 heroes there, and then Phoenix left, and you just left. You're the type of player that dies and then gives up on whatever, like, so you die bottom, and you're like, ugh, bottom lane, off limits. It's like, what I need you guys to understand is why it was bad for you. Specifically, why. Like, what hero was bad for you? So what happens is, if I'm in, like, a rough lane, I'm against a Viper, in this case a Phoenix, some annoying hero that I don't really want to, like, walk up against, right? I don't want to walk up in the lane against them. Then all I'm looking for is I would rather stay near the lane, because what that means is the second that that hero goes somewhere else, you kind of like punish them for leaving, right? Which means like you have to think about they took a free farm lane for themselves bottom, which you were not farming, and gave it to you. That's like the fucking dream. That's what the fucking dream is, like, you know, you couldn't farm bottom and the guy just leaves. But you actually eliminate that possibility by farming up here. You've completely ditched this lane. The only way that you ditch the lane is if you would die if they win on you in the jungle. Like, if Phoenix found you in here, he would just kill you, which is obviously not the case. This is like a slow hero, a damage over time hero. You could just walk away, right? So what I'm saying is, like, if you're against some Slardar or like Beastmaster that's just going to kill you full to zero, sure, maybe it's better that you just leave the bottom half of the map. But you, like, completely ditched bottom when it was totally fine to just be there. And play it smart rather than just walk up to the creep wave. So now we, like, have a bottom lane going unfarmed for literally ever. Obviously this is last patch, so there's still a small camp. Yep, bottom lane's just permanently unfarmed. We don't actually... This patch is all about staying in your safe lane as long as possible. If you watch the way I play carry, if you watch the way carries just in general are playing right now, they're pretty much playing this part of the map as much as possible, especially on Dire, but on Radiant it's still fine. The point is, you would leave bottom because you have to, not because you want to. So you kind of just chose to leave bottom, I would say. They didn't make you. Okay. But they have no BKB Tearsing disabled, so as long as you have Spin TP, we're Gucci. I love how buggy it gets when you switch patches. Okay. Yeah, nice try. We're gonna back off. Go back to top.
Never refuse school.
Okay, healing ward's up. Don't think you needed a third point. I think it's 2 points plus stats was fine. Yeah, you ideally don't want to TP anywhere since you're literally invincible with spin TP. But in this case, so I just have to ask you if you're trying to push this tower with your team. If you are, then stay. If not, you should actually TP bottom and, like, reset the map. Because right now, I want you to know, since you're AFK farming, which is fine, you want to take bottom. Because your team, who's trying to pressure, play up in the face of the opponent, they want to play top, right? They want to play the area where they're trying to, like, push towers and kill people. but like nobody on your team wants to go bottom, right? Because you're the guy that's farming. You can only have so many people farming. For whatever reason, I made a jug guide already, guys. I've talked about it so many times. Can we just agree to go 4-2-1 stats? Can we just like make that the thing? It's literally every game that you see pro players doing it. So public service announcement number 17, 4-2-1 stats, guys. 4-2-1 stats. Okay. Like, what would you rather have? 4 all stats or 2 points in healing ward right now, you know? Okay, at least you took stats over crit. That's good. Okay. Well, I mean, the stats are kind of, or the healing ward was kind of paying off now, but it's fine. Okay. So we got our Yasha. Not bad fight there. Got the mid tower. That's pretty paw. Brigand's Blade, the dream. Gonna go back to top. Okay. Run back top now. Very nice. This is all pretty standard. We can just keep fast forwarding. Fight shows up in front of your face. You just back off. Okay. That was reasonable. SF was doing a little crazy shit there. Okay. So this is a big issue, right? Why were you going top every time? Think about it, right? I want you to rewind and understand why you went top here. So you cleared the wave. Why did you go top? Right? Because the majority of your team had just fought bottom. The majority of the enemy team was just mid and bottom. Like, you knew that. That's where they were, right? So it makes sense for you to kind of like kite them around the map while you're farming to go back top here. But now, we're going to fast forward to the next example. We just saw 4 heroes top. So I need you to do the same concept and walk mid. Like, no reason to walk top here. Your Legion's not here to fight. Your SF's dead. You know they're all here. I want you to understand why you're doing what you're doing. You're fighting with the intent to kind of avoid them because your mid laner's dead, your stunner's not here, right? Instead, you're like walking into them, which, I don't know, this doesn't look good to me. Wouldn't I just rather be pushing this and then maybe walk to this fight? Wouldn't that be better? I don't think your hero's a tower defender. Let your Coddle defend like this. Now we're just stuck in the fight. Look at mid tower, man. Look at it. Ugh, it's painful. It's just bad carry rotations. You look like you're completely on autopilot. This is pretty standard for 4K players, by the way. You guys kind of just repeat the same thing over and over again, meaning like you have like refined farming patterns, but it's not like there's no tiny adjustments. There's nothing. You leave bottom, you're ditching it. Once you're top, it's just rinse and repeat. Jungle top, jungle top. It's like, I need you to understand why you're doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? You have to understand why it's good. So then you can actually apply it to when the opponent brings 4 heroes top. You don't just keep repeating yourself, right? So the issue I have with this is this fight is totally fine. Mid lane is supposed to be pushed in right now. You're supposed to have like 9 extra creeps and the lane is supposed to be pushed in. That's the only difference. That's exactly, everything else would be the exact same because you'd be at this fight by walking this way or TPing maybe rather than sitting here underneath tower. It's the same thing. Okay. So the entire enemy team's top. Farm bottom, dude. Just do this. They're all top. Literally just farm away from the opponent. You don't have Omni Slash. You don't have anything. Your teammates are dead. Dude, just walk bottom. You guys have to see this. Like, as a viewer, as a player, you have to see how autopilot you are. Just, are you looking to fight the opponent? Are you trying to defend your towers as whatever hero you are? Because, like, when you went top, that tells me you're trying to defend your tower, like a Jug is trying to sit in front of his tower and defend it. If you walk into your Ancients right now, that's telling me you want to be near opponents. Because we literally just saw every opponent top. So you're telling me by walking this way that you want to be near them. And there's just no way that's true. There's just like no way that with no Omni Slash, with 3 teammates dead, that you want to be near opponents. So you're not creating any split push pressure. You're not forcing lanes in any way. You're kind of just repeating the same lanes over again, regardless of what the enemy team is doing. Lost mid tower for free because you hit an extra large camp. Like, I would have walked bottom and sent Manta Illusions mid. But notice how every time I tell you this, about a minute later, that lane is an issue. Right? The first time your mid tower was dying for free, and it took like half its HP and damage to creeps. And now there's a huge wave pushing bottom that the opponent just had pushing because you didn't go push it when they were still top. They were still top, 2 heroes were dead. Now they're all alive again. They've had time to move back bottom. So what's happening is because you're not actually avoiding them in any way, you're not responding or reacting to anything they're doing, they have a lane pushed, they just get towers. They literally just get them. That's like what's happening. Sometimes it's a tower like mid, sometimes like the tower being pushed is actually enabling them to go on your teammates. Like they're just grouped up as 4 killing your team right here. This is because you didn't run bottom while they were dead and your teammates were dead. This is 100% why. You're not thinking about the map in a relevant way. This is just very AFK farm, very autopilot, rinse and repeat, same shit over and over again, no adjustments. Okay, so you run away. Your job as a carry is to babysit the map. People don't realize. Like, I just played a game of Wraith King where I had Midas Radiance, and a lot of people see, like, BSJ, you're literally AFK farming the entire game. They don't realize that by the way I farm and the lanes I take and the people responding to me and all the things I'm doing to, like, avoid the opponent, make them chase me around and all that kind of shit is setting your team up for success. Like, the way you're playing is literally setting your team up for failure. I need you to understand this, guys. There's such a crucial difference for a 4.7k player. Like, if you're farming fast as, like, a 2k, it's probably good enough. Okay? It's, like, probably good enough to just farm fast. Like, what you're doing makes sense that you got to 4.7k, okay? Like, it's not a surprise that you're at this point. Meaning, like, everything you're doing is, like, efficient. But you're just rinse and repeating. There's no adjustments at all. So the opponent was just top. We're going to make our way towards bottom. No! What? Dude, they were literally just top, and you, like, ran back towards mid. Are you, like, allergic to seeing them here and going here? Are you literally allergic? My food's here. I'll be right back. Okay, so here's what happened, man. You didn't think critically about whether or not you wanted to lane against the opponents at minute 5. Like, you didn't think critically of whether or not you wanted to either defend underneath your tower, push the lane before Ogre came back. You just kept laning. Like, the way you were laning at 3 minutes, you just kept doing it at 5 or 6. The minute you have access to jungle, you can start considering, do I push the lane and leave? Do I go jungle and defend underneath tower? What are my options? Your options in your head were, do I lane or do I go top? That was it. That was it. And so then what's happening in the game is you've been thinking BSJ farming patterns or whatever person you're mimicking. It's just like here, back to here, back to here, back to here, back to here, regardless of what the enemy team is doing. You're not making them chase you. You're not making them, like, you're not going away from them or going towards them on the map. That is what it takes for you to make it past 4.7k. This is exactly why you're 4k, man. This is like the resounding lesson you need to learn from this replay. All it takes is to be thinking about why you are doing what you're doing. The certain question of, do I want to be near opponents or do I want to be away from them, should actually be a constant state of mind. That should literally be in the back of your head at every stage of the game. So then, wherever the enemy team goes, if you want to be near them, you run at them. If you want to be away from them, you run away from them. It's like, if I see the enemy pushing a tower, do I, as Jug, want to walk to the tower? The answer is probably no, right? If I see 4 heroes top, as a farming carry with no ultimate, do I want to farm towards top? No, right? So this is the thing. It's going to be new for you. It's going to take a lot of critical thinking from you. But this is what it's going to take, my friend. I believe in you. You are on complete autopilot. And there's no exception. Like, there's no, I don't want to say no exception. There's just There's no debate about that, right? You have been doing the same thing over and over throughout the entire course of the game. There's stages of the game, my friend. At 5 minutes, the lane is different than it was at 1 minute, right? It's like when the enemy has 4 heroes top, your farming pattern is different than when they have 4 heroes bottom. You know what I mean? So that's it from me. That's the critique I got for this replay. Thanks for signing up, buddy. I hope you learned something. I think you've got promise. This is like such a localized issue for you. This is literally crippling you that if you can get this down, you're going to be a fucking god. So, see you later, buddy. That's a good replay for YouTube, I think. Man, it's such a good replay.